1, 2, 3, let's go.
Wednesday afternoon. Oh,
all sorts of
It
controversy.
was.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So this one is a guy called Mickey van der Ven of Tottenham. Now, this is going to surprise you. It says there's no agreement between Liverpool and Mickey van der Ven regarding a potential transfer next summer. The player is currently focused on Tottenham and wants to finish the season well before making any decisions about his future. Now, I didn't know that. Why would Liverpool be after Mickey van der Ven? What they lacking? What they trying to fill? What position are they trying to fill? Do you know?
Well, what position does he play at Tottenham? I can't remember.
I think he plays. It's not fullback. I think it's centre.
Midfield.
Centre midfield. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise because Liverpool have really strengthened their team last summer, and particularly last summer. So yeah, you wouldn't think, especially as Isak has still got to come back, you wouldn't think they'd be particularly looking for other players. I mean, they were looking at Mark Gay, weren't they? He was on their radar until Manchester City stepped in the January window. So maybe he's to do with the back four because, I mean, obviously they've got Van Dijk. He's still playing, possibly a bit slower nowadays. So you see him make one or two more mistakes than he never used to. Canate is playing well, but again, I think from last season, the word was, or it seemed to be, that he was the guy that they felt needed replacing a bit. He's getting on a bit. And even though not so, he doesn't have to play every game. So maybe it's to do with the back line rather than midfield. But equally, the guy at Tottenham, Van der Ven. By saying what he's saying, it's almost a bit. He's almost saying, I don't really want to go to Liverpool. And if he would, most players, if a big club like Liverpool come in for them, they keep them sweet. Yeah, it's good to say, well, I'm focusing on my present club. But if he says too much, well, I don't want to think about the next move, blah, 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 that could come across that he's not complimented to be in Liverpool's sights. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes of all that.
Yeah, and another thing, another issue that raised for me, not an issue, but another concern, slight concern that's raised for me is, why would you want to go down with a sinking ship? I mean,
why that sinking ship then?
Well, I mean, they're 17 now on the table. No, not 17. Are they 17? No, I think they're about 16 at the table.
Yeah, but he's not saying. No, he's not saying I want to stay at Tottenham, though, is he necessarily? He's just saying until the end of the season, my focus. He can't leave before the end of the season. I guess he could, in theory, sign a contract for the end of the season. But yeah, I think if I were a fan of Tottenham, I'd be saying, yeah, good for him. He's our player at the moment, and he is focused on helping us stay in the Premier League. Because whether they like it or not, although I don't think they'll go down, they could do. You know, if West Ham, Leeds, Forest, if they start or continue to pick up points, then anyone not doing so above them could be sucked into that. And I think it's generally accepted at the moment that Tottenham are in a slightly precarious position, and they don't seem to be playing that well, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting. Of course, at the weekend, they lost at home to Arsenal 4-1, wasn't it? It's a bit of a thumping. That said, I think, I don't know whether you saw that.
say hello to old Mimi, Dr. Gladys and Rose. Three beautiful ladies who join us on our shows. There's one other bro, sometimes joins us on the show.
I don't know whether you saw that game, but when it was 2-1 to Arsenal, I thought it was a pretty poor refereeing decision. which I think was backed by VAR, when Tottenham scored an equaliser, so it would have been 2-2, excuse me, and it should have been 2-2 in my opinion, because when they actually played back the offence, there had been a foul, and it was going to be a free kick to Arsenal in the penalty area. And we all know how the players, particularly at corners and free kicks, that's pushing and shoving, and it gets ridiculous, quite honestly. I mean, it's a wonder more don't get sent off. But in this particular case, the Arsenal player, I think it was Gabriel, the guy who scored the goal, actually just had his hands slightly on him. And of course, what they do when they feel something, they just fall to the floor. But generally, if it's obvious that the person theoretically being fouled overdoes it, complete exaggeration, they can actually be booked for simulation, for pretending. Now, when they showed that back, it was in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of the pundits on Match of the Day, it was not enough to rule out that goal. It was the lightest touch, and yet Gabriel dived as if he'd been poleaxed, and it was obviously ridiculous. I think VAR have to sort of check it as well, but they don't always like to overturn a referee's decision unless it really is clear and obvious, and I think it was. But you see, that a decision like that can have a massive impact on the outcome, because it went back to 2-1 and it eventually was 4-1, and Spurs could argue that if they got back to 2-2, they might have done better. And of course they had their new manager, Igor Tudor, isn't it? And he looks a bit of a fearsome sort of guy standing there on the touchline, but he would have probably been a bit aghast that was disallowed. So yeah, Spurs are not in the best place. I suppose because they are Spurs, because they are one of the big teams, it's hard to believe they could go down. What is a pity from their point of view, and the fans, is they had exactly the same thing last season under Postecoglou. They were struggling, weren't they, along with Manchester United. And of course they fought the final of the Europa Cup. And so they've been there 2 seasons running. So I don't think they'll go down. I don't think one of those lower teams would do enough to get out of it. But I don't know. I don't think Spurs will go down. I mean, with Palace, we're now 10 points above West Ham, who are in the 18th position, whereas Tottenham are 4 points above. So that does make a difference. But even now.
Say hello to old Mimi, Dr. Gladys and Rose, 3 beautiful ladies who join us on our shows. There's one other bro, sometimes joins us